Imagine all your audio entertainment available in just one place. That's what the Audible app is all about. With Audible, you can always find the best of what you love or discover something new. Audible has an incredible selection of wellness titles and originals, like The Light Podcast by Michelle Obama, Work It Out by Mel Robbins, and Confidence Gap by Russ Harris. Membership includes access to Audible originals, podcasts, and tons of audiobooks that you can download or stream as much as you want. And as an Audible member, you can choose one title per month from an ever-growing catalog of titles to keep. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're traveling, working out, doing chores, wherever your day takes you. New members can try Audible now free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/motivation or text motivation to 500-500. That's audible.com/motivation or text motivation to 500-500 to try Audible free for 30 days.
The weather is cooling down a bit. The leaves are starting to fall. Yes, it's that time of year again. Football season. And we all know the best part of any game day traditions are the ones that involve food. There's nothing like having everyone in your game day crew coming together to bring their best bites and argue over whose family makes the best chili. And while there's no need to mess with the perfection of game day classics, like a freshly grilled Oscar Mayer hot dog topped with Heinz ketchup and mustard, it's always fun to step out of your comfort zone and get creative with your recipes. Because there's nothing more fun than adding to your list of game day traditions, like making a creamy and delectable queso dip with Velveeta cheese that can be eaten with so much more than just chips. Now is the chance for people across the nation to find out whose game day eats reign supreme. It's your turn to show off your tasty game day food traditions. Go to www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to share a photo of your game day food tradition to enter to win $10,000. Once again, that's www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to enter to win $10,000.
You played with Mick Vukota, right? Yeah. You guys played together?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. He's a funny guy. He's a good storyteller. He's like you.
Yeah. He's got more stories than me, that guy.
Oh, yeah. We may have, but he's good at telling.
Is he coming on?
Yeah, he's supposed to be. He can't figure it out. We had him on before, so he should know how to get on.
Well, now he's divorced. He lost Maryland. He's got no one to do his shit for him.
Here. You know what? We're just talking about you getting divorced.
Yeah, he is.
So how is it that Richie Pilon has never gotten divorced? That's the question of the day.
Oh, because she's a saint.
So I've got two of them. Mick, how many you got?
What?
Divorces. Exes, yeah.
2 divorces, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chief, are you still in bed?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I just had surgery 2 weeks ago.
Whatever.
I know, really, right?
Fuck, look at me. I got a line in and everything.
Let's go.
You got a penis enlargement. You had to get a bigger penis put in.
I gotta get this shit to myself every 8 hours.
I recommend tequila.
Oh, right.
I recommend tequila.
That'll fix your hip up.
I don't think
I can't believe no one's seen him with my hat yet.
What does it say?
I can't see.
Yeah, I know. Listen, we're all 60s. We can't see that. Do you like what does it say?
You see it?
I can't.
It's the Colorado Buffaloes, Deion Sanders.
Oh,
Of course, you're prime time.
I have prime time. I know.
you know what? With that nose, you can put like 3 or 4 pair of glasses on there.
Yeah. For sure.
I shouldn't talk though. Look at the size of that thing.
I shouldn't talk. Oh, how you guys doing? How you doing, Mick? It's a long time.
Yeah, buddy. Good. Living the life. Divorces. I'm like Oprah Winfrey at Martha's Vineyard. Everybody here gets a house.
Oh. All right. Well, let's get this show started. Tom's going to give us a little intro, and then we'll just keep doing so.
This is Full Change with Tom Laidlaw.
Hey, Tom, we got the Islander show today.
Oh, God.
We got 2 bad men on the show.
I
Now,
know.
you're a tough guy. You absolutely are a very tough person, but you can't compare to these guys.
I know.
Today we got Richie Pilon and Mick Vukota on the show. Talk all things Islanders and just to shoot the breeze.
So here's what's going to show what is going to happen here. I'm going to ask one question, and the two of them will talk for the next 45 minutes.
I should try and sit up actually for this.
No, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Richie's lying in bed right now.
Mick, he says he's got like a bad hip. Like, what is that? Like, remember how tough?
I got my both hips done.
Stuff on social media, so we feel sorry for him.
I know, right?
I thought him just died, man.
Well, that'd be what, like the 3rd time?
He didn't even do it on purpose this time.
I didn't do it on purpose. He still doesn't want me.
It can't kill you. That's you try to kill yourself. You can't do it.
Well, like your blood alcohol, like your blood alcohol level. I'm thinking about Mick now. When you hemoglobin's in your blood, you're usually like 160. I'm at like 70. I was down at 50. So a lot of shit went down. Kidneys and everything were going sideways. And
Did you guys play with Gerald Diddick?
yes,
Have you seen him?
I only did a little bit.
Don't
More. I don't do it.
Have you seen him recently?
No.
It's gonna bully him.
Oh, huge. Man, he gets stung. He's allergic to bees, I guess. He gets stung by a bee. Big one. Bunch of bees. We played in the charity game down in Dallas, the Ranger alumni and the Dallas alumni, and he was there. He was getting dressed in the locker room. So I couldn't help it. I pulled out my phone. I had to start taping.
Oh my God.
Guy's a total bully.
He was a funny guy, though. He started running around. He had his underwear on still. He started running around like he was a big ape or something like that.
Like, how big is he?
Oh, he's big. He's a big man. He's got to be 300.
Oh.
Yeah. When I walked up to him, I could recognize him at all. He says, he knew I wouldn't recognize him. And I walked up to him. He says, do you remember who I am? I said, I have no idea.
So, yeah, I haven't seen any. Where is he living now?
Down in Dallas. Yeah.
Dallas, eh?
Yeah, they got a pretty good alumni down there. A lot of guys have stayed in the Dallas area.
Great
Yeah.
alumni.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get that.
I did a podcast with Craig Ludwig.
Yeah, you guys are buddies, right?
Yeah, well, he tried to kill a couple of us, but I survived. No, yeah, the short time he was on Long Island, we had a great time. Chief, you remember when he took Chizer to Wisconsin for the break?
Oh, yeah. Not good. Not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took Dave Chizowski as a 19-year-old out to Wisconsin for the All-Star break, and the kid was never the same.
Yeah.
Never the same.
Even you, Mick, when you went with him to that ball tournament, remember that?
Yeah.
Didn't you crash his motorcycle or something too, Mick?
No, I think I might have, pushed it in the bushes or something. But, 2 weeks before my wedding, he won. They got me into some kind of a shot contest, and if you lost, you have to shave your head. I'm like, I cannot shave my head 2 weeks before my wedding. Like, that's not. Anyways, it was brutal. It was a shot you had to drink to get out of the contest. Was Tabasco sauce topped off with 151 rum.
Oh, man.
Holy crap.
What would that taste like?
Like, it was just insane. And you're in the middle of nowhere, so it's not like you could just, call a cab and get out of there. So, needless to say, I did it.
He likes his cocktails, doesn't he?
Brutal.
Oh, boy, I've never seen a guy drink beer like that in my life.
There's always like an activity. It's not like you just sit and drink. It's like, hey, everybody throw $20 in, and let's see who can hop onto the bar stool from a stand.
Like, really? You do stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, no.
Oh, that's funny. So, okay, Rich, you are a bit. Now we're going to feel sorry for you a little bit here. What happened? So you get your hip replaced, both of them?
Yeah, both hips replaced, yeah. Hip replaced, then I had 3 surgeries on my left one, 2 within 2 weeks.
Are you like 90 years old or what?
I don't know. These hips don't lie, I guess. I don't know. But
Can I got hips replaced?
No.
No, nothing here. Yeah, same here.
Well, I also, I didn't do chuck wagon, chariot, falling off horses since I was 5. So I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
I rolled my truck too, didn't help.
Sure, that was good for your body, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a little beat up. I can't wait for they're feeling way better now, so I can't wait for another 2 weeks.
And Mick, you're on your 6th wife now? Or
6th wife, yeah. I do hockey years, so I had a 69, and then I had a 87, and now, an 81, and now I moved up to an 87. So who knows what's on the horizon.
Now, when the marriages end, like, is it vicious, like nasty, or just like fed up with each other, or what?
Yeah, no, well, I think the first one was, I was probably not the most the best husband. I was probably not the best husband, but I was a good dad. But the ironic part is we all live here on Martha's Vineyard.
Oh,
and we all.
How many is there actually though? 3 or 4
houses. It's 2 exes, but then a current. Yeah, we all do. We go to each other's house for holidays, birthdays, you name it. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
I get along with the other guys. Other guys.
People are Amish.
Yes, Chief, I'm Amish. That's with the beard. We've got a horse and a buggy in the driveway.
Oh God, that's funny. Okay. But isn't that kind of like, so you get along fine. So now how about the woman with, does she have an ex?
No.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to deal with her ex.
Ladies, you got to go young. Catch them before they have, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he tried. He tried several times.
Oh yeah. I met a girl in Costco one time. This girl working at Costco.
Hey, just so you know, let's set up Laidlaw Stomping Grounds is Costco in Rye, New York.
Oh, the liquor store is pretty good too. The liquor store is all right.
Ironic.
Oh, I know. Yeah, so this girl in Costco, she looked young and everything like that. So I went right up to her. I said, "Do you like older guys?" She said, "Oh yeah, I like older guys." And I didn't bother to ask her how old she was. She was 19 years old. So.
Oh, that's young.
That was young. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty young. Okay, how old are the youngest on it? The youngest one?
9.
9?
9? I know, he's 9 already. Jesus.
So
How many friends you have?
Me?
I've got 2.
5 boys.
Oh, 5 boys.
Wow.
And from what, all different wives?
3.
3 different people.
You can't lie, man. You can't lie here. You got the one you picked up with the hitchhiker, that whole story.
Wait, hold on, stop. Wait.
She was, your first wife was hitchhiking? No, come on. One of your wives was hitchhiking down the road?
I had a charity case that got me in trouble, so. Ladies, I have a problem. I'm gullible Mick. I believe everything they say.
Oh, it's me too. Yeah. And even though I know like that, like I meet women now and they'll start telling me stuff. I met this one woman, had her over for dinner. She started telling me how she didn't have any friends, so she went on Craigslist to find a friend. And then her husband at the time was cheating on her, so she put on a blonde wig and went to JFK Airport to spy on him. And she's telling me these stories, and I'm not thinking there's anything wrong with it. And then the next day, my son comes over, and he says, "What'd you been up to?" I said, "I had dinner last night with this woman, told him stories." He's looking at me, "Dad, she's nuts."
Well, what about charity case? What about your friend in Philadelphia, the African friend of yours?
Oh, man. Oh, that was a sad story.
Like, Tommy, if you got no dirt, you keep throwing dirt at us, man.
Oh, so this woman contacted me on Facebook, really attractive, like light skin. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. She's in early 30s. Then she started telling me her life story, that she'd been adopted and that she'd been abused by the adopted family and everything. I'm going, oh, God. Because she was like smoking hot and everything. So then she got to the point where she tried to commit suicide, actually. She was drinking, doing Tylenol, yeah. And then, so she kept calling me all the time. And I didn't even know her last name. So she goes to the hospital. I get a call that night from the doctors at the hospital down in Philadelphia. She named me as her emergency contact. Never met the woman before. Didn't know her last name. So then the doctors told me, her kidneys had failed, her liver had failed, and that I needed to get down there because if they had to make life or death decisions, I was it. I was making the decision. I know. And I'm thinking, okay, if I don't go, I don't have to really go. If I don't go, though, and she ends up dying, I'm going to, the rest of my life, I'm like, could help.
Yeah.
So I drove to Philly like 3 a.m, walked in, and by the time I got there, her lungs had collapsed. So she's on life support.
So Tom pulled the plug.
No, she ended up surviving.
And they've been dating for 7 years now.
Oh, God. Yeah, I heard. She was hot, though. She was hot.
That's your takeaway from that whole experience?
Well, I could go on and on. I had a woman here. Woman here. I've turned into like a target. I do all this mental health stuff online and everything. So all the mental health issues come to me. This woman, a neighbor of mine, came. I drove in. I was at Costco, parked my car. She comes over to me and tells me that she wants me, that I need to save her. I need to help her. And I've seen police cars over at her apartment a couple of times. So I'm thinking her husband was beating on her or something. So I said, "What do you need? Do you want to get divorced? I'll get you a lawyer, all that." So she said, "Yes, that's what I need." She leaves, get a phone call at 7:00 next morning from her husband. And he had got her phone, and we had texted each other. And I said, "Okay, I'll help you with this thing." So he wanted to know what I was going to help her doing. And I'm figuring he's beating her, so I'm not going to tell him anything. So he calls the cops.
Yeah.
Call the cops. And ends up, it's sad. She had a mental health breakdown. And was actually stalking me. She put on a black sheet, made it into a toga, and was wandering around out back of my apartment.
Holy crap.
I felt terrible because the ambulance had to come pick her up.
Tommy Target.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. You got a big bullseye in your back.
Oh, yeah, totally. You guys remember Corey Hirsch? Remember the gold star Corey? So he's really into mental health, and we got to be friends and everything. And I was telling him these stories, and that's what he said to me. He said, "Stop, you're a target." So now I'm like, I lock myself in the house and don't go out.
Holy Jesus, yeah.
So, okay, so how's everything else going, though, Rich, with the horses and everything? You're helping young people with the horses.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. I've been kind of full bore with that. We're gonna, well, I can't do anything for 3 months now, but yeah, doing a lot of the northern communities and still kind of getting a little bit more involved on the MNS side, Métis Nation Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay.
So what's happening there now, like what they're trying to transition, because they see, because I've been in the north for 2 years now, going in and out with some hockey, but more of the horses. So now what MNS has done, they were kind of like following me a little bit, seeing how I was doing, and I didn't know at the time. But then they approached me about a year ago, and about a year ago, and that's under maybe. And now what they want to do is, because what's happened in Saskatchewan, Métis Nation, like Saskatchewan, is going to their own self-governance. So what's happening, basically all the things that the First Nations, like the First Nations, how they got their cards and they can get all the, tax stuff, that'll be coming to the Métis people in Saskatchewan.
Well, okay.
So in Batoche, where Louis Riel was, that whole thing in Batoche, they've now bought a bunch of land. They're building a lodge. They're building all these things for mental health. Like so in the summertime, where they're going to have these called Riel Scouts, basically to bring back the culture with the young people, because the young people right now, they believe because of a lot of it too, the residential schools. There's such a disconnect with some of these families, because coming out of residential schools, they weren't the best parents, they weren't all that stuff, and that's what spinned off to that of their children and their grandchildren are still all trying to it takes like 7 generations. So they're doing a really good job. They received, I believe, which is it's not even a number I couldn't believe, but from the federal government here in Saskatchewan, or the federal government of Canada, they received $450 million over 8 years for mental health.
Well, good. I'm glad they're doing that.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of it's just very, and I've seen the changes in some of the communities that are doing that were, I was there 2 years ago to where they're at now. You can see the changes are starting to happen.
Especially with the young people, right? I mean, it's like all the social media stuff.
Yeah.
And Mick, what are you doing for work?
Well, I'd like to say I'm a manager of a facility, a transfer facility. So we ship all the material from Martha's Vineyard to the mainland, like all the recyclables, all the construction debris, all the residential MSW solid waste. And in essence, I just run an excavator 40 hours a week, listening to podcasts all day with the heated seats.
See, with the boss, yeah, called the boss, yeah.
Yeah, cheap. Trash is cash, buddy. Anybody knows that. That's how I got into it. I mean, the guy recruited me because he was worried when he took over this company that he was going to have some kickback. And I was like, so you mean I get to fight and like not get in trouble? And he goes, might be more than fighting. I'm like, well, let's give it a whirl.
Yeah, that's how it started. It's a wild story, actually.
It hasn't nearly been quite as glorious as I was expecting.
Oh, okay. One of the greatest stories that's ever told on our podcast was you, the Dwight Schofield in Washington. We're going camp. Oh, you told that story about it was Joey Kosher kind of coached up there, right?
Yeah, people love that one.
Yeah, good story.
Yeah, I'm sure Joey doesn't remember the conversation because it was last call at a bar called Confetti's in Saskatoon. Tony Twist's ex-wife Jocelyn Brodeur was the bartender.
Oh,
who Joey worked there the summer before. But he came in at last call, and I was like just so nervous to pick his brain. And yeah, he just gave me that advice. He's like, I'll never forget when he goes, "Oh, you got drafted?" And I go, "No, I got a PTO, like a tryout." He goes, "Oh, you're gonna be like number 78 on a roster of 78." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Thanks, George.
You gotta get yourself noticed. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. How do I do that?" And that's where he tells me to go fight this guy, Dwight Schofield.
And didn't he tell you were going to lose too?
He goes, "You're going to lose, and then you got to go back."
Yeah.
And and you might have to jump him in the hallway or in the shower, but you got to keep going till they know who you are.
Yeah, that's so. That's how the game is now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It has changed, hasn't it?
What that kid that ran Stone the other night in preseason, from LA.
Yep.
Remember, right? But
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
for nothing. What do you do?
Yeah, you're going to camp, yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you should run stone, but you're playing in a preseason game and you got a chance to finish your hit. I don't care who it is. Nobody knows who you are. So you gotta separate yourself.
You got to separate yourselves. Yep. That's actually what I told Pete.
Yeah, I didn't like Stone's comments after, too. Didn't he say, well, I'll never see that
No,
kid?
that was a pretty good chirp. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, but no, you don't say that to about a young kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disrespectful, I think. Yeah.
No, I think he felt like he could get away with, and I get it. The guy's the captain of the Stanley Cup champion, but you're right. I mean, that kid he wasn't. First of all, it was a clean hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Second of all, he I don't know if you need to throw a dart like that. You could say that off camera.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you say that. Yeah, you say that in the locker room. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But he got his ego because he was on his ass.
But you guys saw like when Drew Doughty was mic'd up and he was chirping Maroon pretty bad, and Maroon went out and won 3 cups. So
Right.
Well, yeah, but it's a young kid who may never get a chance again. He's trying to do something like Mick said to get noticed out there. I'd rather.
Well, speaking of training camp, did you guys ever fight each other in camp?
No.
Never. No.
Never.
How about practice? Did you guys have fights in practice?
We fought our roommate.
we both beat up our roommate Dave Chizowski.
Poor kid again.
Yeah, we used to make him. Make him sit in the car when Chief and I would go for lunch after practice, which was basically a liquid lunch.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
would make Chizers sit in the car.
Really?
Yeah, right.
He'd be so pissed off. Yeah.
Oh, we're like, we're just gonna grab a quick beer and we'll be out. 2 hours later, we roll it out. He was like, "You guys suck. You're the worst teammates ever."
Was he a tough kid? He was fairly tough too, wasn't he?
Oh, really tough.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Toe to toe with Troy Crowder.
Oh,
in Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a good bow with Troy. Yeah.
So I don't know if we talked about Rich. Who was the toughest guy you think you ever fought?
Then I jumped Probert
Oh,
from behind. Remember?
Yeah.
Because Smitty looked at me and said, like, you better do something.
Oh.
And to that day, Probert chased me around for the rest of my career.
Yeah. So, Lades, I'm in the pit. So, Rich and I, like, he told me he's going to fight everybody his first year, like every tough guy. And so he ended up jumping pro. I don't know if you jumped him, but you fought him. And then I ended up fighting like Zomba or I don't know, some other guy in Detroit. And I get in the box and Rich looks over at me and goes, "So that's Probert, huh?" And I go, "Yeah, what?" He goes, "He's pretty big." I'm like, "You didn't know who the fuck?" He goes, "Well, I didn't know till it was going." And then I'm like, "Holy shit, this guy's pretty big." I'm like, "Buddy, I got spidey senses. The minute they step on the ice, I know where they are." I know where they are. He's like, "Oh." But yeah, that's how naive he was in the beginning. He just fought.
So I was very naive. That was naive. Oof. You know what? Just to that though, like one of the things that I think now, my naiveness and ignorance of pecking orders coming up the levels didn't help me. It helped me.
Yeah, totally.
But I just went there to work and I didn't care. I didn't know where I was on a pecking order. I don't know where we're nowadays. Like you know, like really like the camps that they have.
Yeah.
And they were probably like that in our day at the beginning. I don't know. Like they already had the team picked pretty much, right? Most times, right?
Yeah.
You know, in junior, not so much, but even like when I watched Garrett trying to make a team that when we talked about getting noticed, you know, the dad, I'm telling him like to basically go play like a prick.
Yeah, true.
I'm massaging it to him in a way that I don't offend him.
Right.
And he's telling me, well, they don't do that anymore. You can't. Guys don't go after each other like that.
Yeah, but the
I'm
big
like,
that's how you get noticed.
rapper.
Yeah.
You want to get noticed? Go take out fucking Kachuk.
Yeah.
Go take out one of those guys. Piss the whole team off.
Yeah.
And they'll figure out that we actually want to be there, right?
Well, that's the big thing. Yeah, you're showing them how bad you want to make the team. You do something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. But
Rich,
he doesn't have that in his DNA.
You got in a fight with somebody. I can't remember who it was. And you both threw a punch at the same time. I can't remember.
Well, that was Cummings, Jim Cummings.
Oh, you both knocked each other out.
Ooh, double KO.
He put my nose underneath my eye. I was going off the ice and I could feel my eyelash hitting my nose.
Sure, but
And Rams, he was there. And I'm like feeling my nose as I'm going off because I hit him, I cut him on his cheek, right?
Oh, yeah.
We actually hit each other at the very same time.
Yeah.
And I'm going off the ice and I'm grabbing my nose. I'm like, holy shit, this thing feels like it's. And I'm walking. I tell Rab, I'm like, Rab was like, just get on the table. I'm like, I gotta go check this out. He goes, no, you just get on. But I go look at it. My nose seriously was underneath my eye. It was bad.
Well, if anyone looked that up on YouTube, that was nasty. It was just, it was almost funny, right? Because you both just same time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, total punch same time, both of us.
Yeah.
So
Mick, I know we've been asked a lot of people that I probably asked this before, Mick, but did you enjoy fighting?
Yeah,
Oh, you did.
I did. You know what? So obviously there's anxiety and there's some sleepless nights or sleepless afternoons before a game, knowing what's going to happen. But it wasn't the fighting aspect that I loved. I really liked, and I was very fortunate. All my teammates made me feel valuable. That I was part of the team.
Yeah.
And there's no better feeling than going after somebody. And I think if you go through like the whole catalog of my fights, there's some that are just crap, wrestling and grappling. And those are usually a product of sitting on the bench for 2.5 periods,
sure.
A team going up 3 goals and getting a second shift of the game.
I know, right?
And you just got to do something. And you're not really invested, motivated, or mad. Right. But if you don't do it, they'll find someone else that will.
Well, yeah.
Right. So you do it. And then there's other fights that are good toe-to-toe tilts where somebody broke a stick over a guy and I jumped in, with a tough guy. Yeah. And just, they're good fights because they're emotional, they're sincere, they're passionate. Right. And that's the part that I enjoyed. Like that's the part I absolutely loved doing was, answering the bell for my teammates and being there. And the one thing, Lades, I always, I'll say this, and Rich will probably attest to it. You guys both will. I don't care how tough you are. If you're not available, you're irrelevant. You're irrelevant.
Yeah, you're irrelevant. Yep.
So, and you know what I thought that was pretty cool about that too? Like, it was more my job. Like, if you went out there, Mick, and we were playing bad, you wanted to get the team going, so you were in a fight. It was more my job now to make sure the bench recognize that, and now we get going, right? There's the assistant captain.
Yeah, the feed off that. Yep. Yeah.
If they don't do that, then it doesn't do any good, right? You go do your job, but nobody backs it up. So
no, absolutely. Yeah. And that's where I had Pat Flatley. Well, Brent Sutter originally, but Pat Flatley as a captain most of my career, and he absolutely and I think Flats got beat up by somebody real. I can't remember who it was, but I think
either. Yeah.
It was a lefty, and he just smashed him. And Flats was like, "Well, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that anymore." But he had a great appreciation for the guys that played like that.
Isn't that true? That really showed a good team, good locker room, right? When the tough guys go do their job and everybody recognizes that they're doing their job. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, I think that Stone incident, you watch that incident, all 5 guys are in there.
Yeah.
For Vegas.
Yeah.
It says a lot about the character of that team.
Totally.
Player, everybody got in there.
Yeah. That's where the Rangers last year, they really just surprised how they did not have that. There was a game against the Devils. The big defenseman was going around hammering people for the Devils, and that was Goudreau stepped in.
Goudreau fought him. Goudreau was overmatched by a lot.
Yeah. And then nobody in the bench was doing anything, and Goudreau then turned to the bench and started yelling at the bench, like, let's get going, and nobody did it. And when that happened, both teams are seeing that happen. He's just like, oh, God, this is not good.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, you got to call your own teammate out during the game. That's not good.
And especially when they don't do anything even after you've called them out, right?
And then they don't do anything after this. Yeah, that's
if you guys are on the other end of that, you see that and you say, okay, this team is finished, right? You guys can tell on the bench.
Yeah, you can see. Well, it's more like the after effect too. Like if you're kind of bracing yourself and say, okay, what are the Rangers going to do now? They coming at us, and when they didn't come at you, then you're like, oh, okay, these guys they've had it.
These guys are done.
Yeah, definitely. You guys follow the Islanders still pretty good?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So what?
I just got back in with them in the last year.
Oh, okay. Doing alumni stuff?
I was away from that team pretty much since I left.
Oh, okay.
Even with the Rangers.
Right. Well,
after I stopped drinking, what's going to be 19 years now. Wow. I kind of I had to at the beginning, whatever. But then you get it's almost like that. Here's what happens. Like when you pull yourself so far away, you tell yourself that it's no need now to go back. But when I went back this year, and it's the same thing when you're injured. So as an injured player, the worst thing you can do is isolate yourself and get away from the team instead of being involved in the locker room, showing up, you know what I mean? And every day, like everybody else, like all the rest of the soldiers. And that's what happened with me with the alumni side of things, where now that I've got myself back in with the Rangers and the Islanders, I'm making a point to stay in contact with whoever there, because I'm going to start going to the events when they have them.
Yeah. Isn't that true? Like a lot of alumni guys will complain, oh, the team doesn't ever include me in anything. But you've got to reach out too. Like, there's players all over.
You got to reach out. Yeah. And I never did any of that. So I was, now that I've gotten back in, so to speak, which I believe I have, I make points of like emailing the alumni, like the guy that runs both the Ranger and the guy from the Ranger. I think is it Faluso? Mike? What's his name?
Yeah, Mike Faluso, Fasulo, and Jackie DiPiazza as well. Like
those are the two. So I've been emailing them even recently in the last months here, actually, because I thought I was going to be able to go up because they have like an Indigenous month or something coming up, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So they were going to think it, but I don't know if I can. I don't think I can fly because of this crap I got going on.
Right. So take the horse.
But take the horse. I'll start now. And I'll be there by when?
And Mick, you've stayed pretty active all along with the Islanders, haven't
you? Excuse me. Yeah, you know what? I not all along, but this they're not new anymore. Right. But the ownership that took over from Mr. Wang, they have done an amazing job.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've gone to probably half a dozen alumni weekends. Chief, you got to come.
Yeah, I'm coming.
They invite every player, and this is my most favorite, passionate part about it, is whether you've played one game, and I mean literally, there's guys that come that played one game for the Islanders.
That's unreal.
And they bring you for the week. You fly, you get yourself there, but the weekend is covered. You're at a top-notch hotel, meals, dinner, game, swag. They just hook you up. They treat you. I mean, rooftop at the Empire State Building, like dinner. It's top notch,
right.
And it says a lot about that ownership group as far as what they're trying to create. And I have a lot of respect for what
Ledecky gets it. He definitely gets it. He's a great owner.
He grabs me and he and I go into the crowd and are shaking hands and kissing babies. Like he is great.
And grabbing ass.
Every day, what you don't
I tell you, like John Tonelli, I got to be pretty good friends with, and he was away from the team and he was kind of bitter about it too. But Ledecky really made sure to like retire his number, get him in there.
Yeah,
they had that Ranger Islander alumni game as well. On those weekends, and it's pretty. So we got a bunch of old guys just trying to not fall down on the ice, and they got all these young kids like who's the French Turgeon was playing and everything. They thought they were playing for the Stanley Cup, for God's sakes.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet. They asked me to play, and I'm like, I'm just getting home. How would I? I mean, the bars close at 4 a.m. You go for a little after hours. I'm like, how's that going to work?
Oh, that's funny. We had a charity game up in Boston. We played a home and home up in Boston on a Saturday night in New York at Madison Square Garden on Sunday. And Ron Gresser's going to be the coach. Good thing he was coaching because he went out. He got hammered the night before. We had a big dinner, and he came down for breakfast in the morning. I felt so bad for him. Man, I was going to put him out of his misery.
So, Mick, do you still skate at all?
Yeah. So I just started again. I was playing in a men's league here, but they're all young guys, and they wouldn't let me go to the 50 and over group. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're too chippy. I go, I'm chippy because I can't catch anybody. So yeah, I slash, I hook. I mean,
it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, people stop flying by me. I would stop slashing and hooking and, cross-checking. And so finally they let me into the old man's group, and I just started a couple weeks ago. So
isn't that funny when
coaching my 9-year-old?
Oh, okay. Is that funny when you're playing those men's leagues too? You think I'm just going to go out there to have some fun, right? Let's just joke around. It really doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden somebody goes by you, and now you get the blood pressure gets going, and you're slashing people.
Well, once they start competing, once that scoreboard goes up.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Once the score goes up, we had in here. I was playing with a group here for a while, and this is this is 15 years ago already. But we got booed because our team was pretty good. So we had gone to some of the events in Montreal, like we'd won and going for nationals, right? But we played this. They put us in the young, like they called it the A, B, and C. So we were in the A group. And we were competitive there, but weren't. But with our own age, we just kind of ran through it, right? And we were at one of the games, and we're playing these young guys. They're like 24, 25. We're all like, I was probably the youngest guy at 40, whatever I was. And one of the guys, before the puck's gonna drop, I'm on the bench, and the guy's like, whoa, you got to stop it here. And everybody's like, what the hell's with this guy? He goes, they got to take their walkers off the ice before we start.
Oh, no. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a time, same thing, we were playing young kids, and they were flying around. They know who we are, right? They're NHL players. So these kids are cheap shot me and everything. So finally I snapped, and I knocked one down. Another kid comes over and knocked him down. I think they probably went down a little easier than they need to. And then I hit like a third guy. And so they threw me out of the game, played the same team about 2 weeks later. And I go over to the kids, and I said, listen, I should not have acted like that last game. That was terrible, me doing what I did. And the guy goes, no, it's great. We went home and told all our buddies that Mr. Laidlaw beat us up on the ice. It was great. So that's it. I retired. I'm done.
Yeah, it's pretty tough when you get chippy with you when you're going out there for exercise, right? And so the beers after.
Yeah, so the beers after, yeah. So how do you think the Islanders will do this year?
I think they're going to be in a little bit of trouble, personally. I just think that they don't have. I'll be honest. I don't like Barzal.
Yeah, he's a different. Yeah,
and I think he's not he's there, but he's very. You need him to kind of. You got to massage him into your room because he believes he's better than everybody.
Oh, is he like that? I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, I know this from him being a kid.
Right. Oh, okay.
And I think there's other things that have happened, like just within the organization that I know a little bit of one of the coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you win with that being your best player.
Yeah, I know when it's a dominant player like that, he's got that attitude. Yeah, that's tough.
He's got that attitude that it's not my fault and get me the right wingers, whatever you want to call it, right? So that kind of. I don't think you win with him. That's all. That's just my opinion.
Parisi, I've heard some negative stuff about Parisi too, but I guess he's kind of
he's on the fence about coming back or not.
Oh, so he's done with that contract. Oh, okay,
he's done now.
Yeah. Okay.
The door's open, but he's not. He hasn't signed. But they got Bo Horvat, which was a great pickup.
Yeah, that's true. How about you, Mick? What do you think?
Well, I mean, arguably they have the best tandem goal in that. With Varley and Sorokin, and they've got such a good blue line, but offensively, like Chief was saying,
yeah, they just
if you got to count on Matty to be your, if he's got to be your stud, I don't know. He has a lot to prove. Would be my perception of it. So I think they're going to be in the middle of the pack. They're going to be on that, that like they were last year on that bubble zone, in the postseason. And I think once you make the postseason, their style of defense and goaltending can get you. I just don't think he can get you to the top, if you don't have those guys that are going to make big plays. But they picked up a little size. Some of the young, like the Gauthier kid, the process is fine. He's like, I'm trying to figure out who he's going to be. You need so much more from up front. I like the fourth line, third line, whatever, but Casey and Marty and Clutterbuck, I mean, they're going to give you the same thing every night.
Yep.
That's a nice intangible, but that's not enough to put you over the top, I don't think.
Well, the problem is, who do you take out of the top 8 with Carolina, New Jersey, the Rangers, Florida, Tampa's still, I mean, they're not as good, but they're still a good team. And the speed too, like New Jersey's so fast, and that like Carolina's fast.
Jersey's scary.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, Jersey's really scary.
Boston's always.
But you think the Rangers are going to be up there, Tommy? You think the Rangers are going to be up there with?
It's a great question because they have got the skill. If you go back 2 years ago when they went in the run there to the semifinals, I mean, they were good. Like, they've got Shesterkin. And, the way Gallant before coach was that, give up offensive chances because, you've got one of the world's best goaltenders and then go create offensive chances. And when they're doing that, they can, and Shesterkin's on, then they can be a real dangerous team. But, man, they had times like last year in the playoffs where it just like something was missing. Like it what certainly wasn't a skill thing. It was just those young kids like Hedl and Lafreniere and Kako, and they're a big part of the future, and they really did take a step forward last year, especially in the playoffs. So there's a lot of ifs. To me, it's like there's no question they can do it. We had Dave Maloney on the show, and he was talking. He does a lot of Ranger broadcasting. He was at practice early in camp, and he was talking about how they had a one-on-one drill, and then Lafreniere and Kreider were going at it one-on-one, and Kreider's a big man, and apparently Lafreniere was like giving it to Kreider, like outworking him, throwing him around a little bit. And Kreider finally got frustrated and threw him against the boards. So if Lafreniere can do that, if he can go back to what he was in the playoffs 2 years ago, man, he could be an impact player. But again, it's just that big if. I think, and again,
I think too, part with even with him, watching him too, it's that whole feeling the love, right? You know what I mean? You kind of work. You never move up the pecking order.
Yeah.
You think as you pay your dues, you're going to get you believe he's going to be a top 6 guy, right?
Yep.
But now you bring in Kane. You brought in Tarasenko last year, and he just stayed where he was.
Yep. And
he never got that opportunity. I think.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Again, this is just my speculation from watching from the outside, but I just think you brought in Kane and Tarasenko, and those now 2 spots of the top 6 were used by other guys are now being pushed down, and it seemed like they just were.
Yeah, but he's been handed the top 6 spot in preseason. He did nothing.
Well, that's the thing. Like everybody says, well, they've got to give him power play time. Well, you got to win games too. If you're not doing anything on the power play, then you can't keep giving them. But you're right. So
we'll see.
Yeah.
Who's your Mick? Putting you on the spot here. Who's your team out of the East that's going to go to the finals, other than the Islanders?
Yeah, no. It's tough. It's between Carolina and Jersey. I guess everybody, a lot of people are, at least in Canada, are honking on the Maple Leafs, and I like some of the additions they did. I think getting a little more grit. I think that's something the Rangers could use, is a little more grit on the front end. Just that sandpaper playing against that. Because I definitely think the Rangers have that on the blue line with those D that are blowing people's heads off.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, they are with Trouba and Schneider.
Lindgren's hard. He's hard. Yeah,
I watch Trouba like everybody watches Connor. Like every time he's on the ice, I'm like, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he's and if you're not paying attention, you're going to get hurt. And
you know what? He's a great captain. Because he'll go ahead, Mick. Keep going.
I see Toronto, Carolina, and Jersey being the top 3. And if I was to pick, if you put the knife under my throat, I'd grab Jersey. I just think they're so quick.
Yeah,
they're fast. Yeah.
You talk about talent. I'm with you on Toronto, but there's just something missing there too. Like just Austin Matthews, a talented guy, but I just don't see that. That really, like you said, nasty. Like sometimes,
no bite.
Yeah, sometimes something will happen on the ice and something to him, and he'll just back out of the way and let somebody else handle it. I don't expect him to fight necessarily, but don't pull out of the pile. And you got
exactly.
So you got Jersey coming out of the East. Who you got coming out of the West?
I would say right now, well, everybody's going to take Edmonton, right? Everybody wants Edmonton, but I think I like Vancouver.
Edmonton and Colorado, or I don't know. I got Colorado.
I like Vancouver just because I like Pocket and the way he's kind of turned programs around.
Really? Right.
Yeah, that's
voting big. And just for even, I don't know. He's just
too.
But the team itself, I think they needed such a big he kind of did an overload on that whole team. So as long as their goaltending holds up, I think they're going to be they'll be a dark horse. I think that might surprise a lot of people.
My only problem with Edmonton is the goaltending there. Is it good enough, right? That's
and their D.
Yeah.
Their D are pretty. Like, they don't have that. They don't when you look at Vegas's D compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
And the Rangers got more of that, like with Trouba and Schneider. They're kind of big and kind of the abused guys out there.
Yeah.
But during the year, you don't hear about they're a whole committee, that team, right? Yeah. The guy that got 16, 18 goals, whatever they got on their team, and there's Stone's up there, but they're a total blue collar committee group of the way they picked that team, and you look how that's where Kelly McCrimmon did a really good job. He basically, what he did, he picked a lot of players in that draft in their when they first got the team. Mm-hmm. He picked players that were all in a position of their career, but either things were going to keep going up or their careers are going to be over, and they had something to prove.
Yeah, and the Rangers did a little bit of that. They signed 3 guys to 1-year deals, some older guys. And I'm not crazy about all, but the thing is that they'll be hungry to keep their careers going, right? So they want to have a good year.
Yeah.
Yes, but they also got older and slower.
Lays, who do you got?
I kind of forgot about Toronto. I don't like Toronto's makeup for some reason. So other than the Rangers, I'm prejudiced, obviously, but I like Carolina a lot too. They've been right there for like 2 or 3 years. I like the way Brendan Moore coaches. Well, I got to be honest. So Don Waddell, the general manager there, is my old college roommate, so I'm a little bit prejudiced too. But I really like what they've done there. I like that they've got the sandpaper, they've got the speed.
Yeah,
I like that team a lot. So I'm going to take Carolina out of the East. George McPhee, still president of the guy, so I've got to be a little prejudiced there. But I like Colorado too. Like they were injured last year. I like the what's the defenseman's name?
Cale Makar.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I like that team a lot. So I'm going to take Colorado out of the West.
All right,
and the winner will be Carolina Hurricanes.
Wow, Rod the Bod.
Jesus, he's fun. Remember during the pandemic, they had their lockdown and they're out in some baseball field or football field. They had a video of him. Yeah, he takes his shirt off right away too. The guys are all laughing.
Yeah,
can't wait to take his shirt off.
Well, man, after
Oh, I'm in better shape now than I was when I played. Yeah, didn't want to take my shirt off.
Like Cheney was telling these stories, like Dean Shadalf.
Yeah,
when you coach with Rod.
Yeah,
he goes, he's in better shape than all the guys on the team.
Yeah, I know. He's jacked. Oh man,
he is jacked. He does the testing.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? Imagine having a coach that's in that good a shape and works that hard. Like you almost have to say to yourself, well, if he's got to work that hard, I've got to do it too, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. So, Rich, you've had 3 hip surgeries. You've only got 2 hips, but you've had 3 surgeries on your hip. That's pretty good.
3 surgeries. Yeah, 4. Actually, I had 4.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so 3 on the one, and I had 3 on the one side.
Right. And Mick's claim to fame is he's had 3 wives.
Yeah.
Living in peace on Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, they're all hanging out together. Oh,
I'm still married.
Yeah, okay, and that's it. And I've had two wives, and Mick's Pilon's still married. How does that happen? It's just like Larry Melnick is still married too, the grouchiest guy that's ever played in the National Hockey League, and he's still married.
that's the secret.
Yeah, I had some wild rides there, but holy man.
And how's your family doing and everything? Yeah, I love the story you told, Rich, too. I don't want to bring it up again. I know you spoke about it before. When you were at that, you had never told your family about the attempted suicide. And you're at that speaking engagement, right? Your son was with you?
Yeah, my son was listening to Garrick, yeah. Yeah, where I kind of came clean on it and kind of just was... I had like 4 years of being sober already at that time.
Right.
And then, that was kind of one of those moments that just kind of took another piano off the back, right?
Right. And why that time? You told us before. What happened for you to make that decision at that time?
I was just, you know what? I had kind of, when I left, when I was in St. Louis, the thing that I did do was pull myself away from the team, and I started doing a lot of coke. And then what happened was Jackie ended up calling the NHLPA because she seen that I was coming home and I was I was talking gibberish, right? Basically, whatever I was saying, I don't remember, but it wasn't good. So then she called Dan Cronin at the what's his name? Cronin? Is it Dan? Dan? I don't know his name. Yep. Yeah, Dan. Anyways, this was like a Sunday. We were actually going to get ready to go to church, actually. And Jackie just sat me down, looked at me. She goes, I called the NHLPA. I'm like, what? She goes, Rich, they're going to be here. They're going to be here by 3:00 this afternoon.
Oh, were you mad?
Oh, yeah, pissed. But it was the best thing she ever did.
Yeah.
Because all through all that, what happened was that same morning, you have that security guy for your team.
Yeah.
He was kind of a dick, but anyways, he called me up and he was like, we want to bring you in, Rich, with management, with Larry Plow and all these other guys. And I'm like, well, really? He goes, yeah, we got something to talk about. I said, well, if it had anything to do with the cocaine, I go, I've entered the substance group. I entered the program.
So just so everybody knows, the NHL substance abuse program, the Player Association side, cannot tell anybody. So when your wife went to Dan Cronin, he didn't tell anybody else. He's got to keep that a secret from the team.
Yeah, he's got to keep it a secret. And and here's the thing, and the reason and this is the to me a little bit is they don't want anybody, it's a secret, just like AA, you're not supposed to say that you're an alcoholic or you're drunk, whatever it is. But really, you think about all the stuff that goes on that we do, like, as a player, when you're a player, what would be so wrong knowing that Rich Pilon had a drug issue?
Yeah,
I was trying to change it. Like, I was trying to make myself better, get in the program. But where it comes into play is now if it's Rich Pilon, if it's Aho from Carolina or somebody like that, well, try trading that guy now.
Yeah.
Right?
I think, and it's better than it was before. Like when we were around,
Yeah.
you really got labeled. Like any mental
Yeah, you really got labeled, where now it's not as bad. But back then it was like, that was the way to just kind of keep things behind closed doors.
Like
For the team, really.
You think all the guys that probably had mental health issues and knew that there was no way they could ever talk to anybody about it, right?
Yeah, you couldn't say a word.
Yeah.
Weakness, yeah. So that was fortunate. It happened the way it was supposed to.
That's the greatest improvement is the stigma of the mental health aspect.
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest improvement that the NHL and the NHLPA have done collectively.
I think you're right. And in society as general, right? It's not
Sure.
like it used to be like there's something wrong with this guy. I keep telling everybody it's like if you break your arm, you go to the hospital, you get a cast put on it, fixed, and you get back at it again. Same thing with mental health issues. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you as a whole.
Yeah, and there's no fix, right? You got to go get therapy. You got to go do what you got to do. You got to get honest. You got all these things that you got to, and I think, it's one of those things over years. Like I sit there sometimes and I go, okay, so you wake up in the morning, for the creator, God, whatever my thing now is trying to be a little bit more grateful that I am still here. Because 2 weeks ago, there was a week there, basically, I don't remember crap, and I would almost put on, dialysis, right?
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
So, nothing wrong with me yet, but it's like, at least, when you're, the hard part is that when you look in the mirror, and I'm honest, when I talk to kids even, I said, if you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, you're never going to get healthy until you can look your own self and be honest about all the crazy, all the stuff that people don't have to know everything about you, but as an individual, the good, the bad, the lies, the needs that I've done, right? Yep. And until you're able to basically look at yourself and not be disgusted, I guess, at times, then, that healing takes a long time if you're unwilling to. You can accept what you did, but, you may do it again. You're not going to be perfect about it. It's done. Like, whether it's, whether you guys talk about marriage and we joked about it, but, on the other day, you look at yourself and you go, we want to feel, I can sit here and go, why couldn't I be like this guy? He looks like and I haven't even walked in that guy's shoes, but on the outside looking in, I want to be that guy. Right? And that's where another part is, you put your shoes on in the morning, whatever you got to do, you start walking, start moving. That's the whole thing of mental health, right? Totally. Yep. Start moving, get up, get moving. Don't just
get better every day, right? Like, don't expect yourself.
Try and get better every day. Yeah. Yeah.
Mick, how's your life gone after hockey?
Wasn't a smooth transition. I think, at the end of my career, we talked about how I ended up in the minors, right? With Mike Milbury and, and the chief was Rich. You were there for that, right?
Yeah.
And so, I tried to resurrect my career. I was lucky to get one more year with, make the Islanders and then get claimed off waivers by Tampa and then traded to Montreal that year. And then tried to do a couple more years in the minors in Utah. And then I broke my pelvis my last year.
That's right. Yeah.
In a fight. And then just everything was a struggle, constant, I never felt the same. And then settling in Martha's Vineyard, raising 3 young boys, it wasn't crazy. Like I didn't have anything. I had no rules. So I was I could do whatever I wanted, which meant I went out a lot. And that probably led to our relationship, not necessarily, Rich knows Marilyn. She's an attorney. She was a professional. She was starting her career. And here I was just screwing around, drinking, riding my Harley cross country every summer, doing what I wanted to without really putting in the work into the family. And that's one thing that I would have changed, was realizing that, I was being more selfish than I thought I was being. But other than that, I really don't have any regrets. My boys are all around in the summer. We all get along, play a lot of golf, do a little fishing, and have a good time.
Excellent.
Well, I think too, Mick, like even with what happened, I think what I did was that you feel like my thing to Jackie was, I've done this, I paid my dues, take a look around, everything you have is because of me.
Right.
And right. So I deserve to go out and drink. I deserve to go and have fun in the summer. That's really what I did too. And that's probably part of it. You dial in for 15 years of your life, and when you forget when you're there, like I sit there and look when I walked away even from the situation, even with signing with, I don't know if you guys knew that I signed with Florida. Do you know that, Mick?
No.
But here's what happened. Here's a little bit of a story that nobody really knows. So I played 8 games with the St. Louis Blues in 2 years.
Yeah.
God, there's a couple stories actually. I used to bug Keith Kachuk all the time that he was overpaid, right? Him and Pronger. Yeah, they're overpaid, like jokingly.
Yeah.
Well, I show up one day at the rink and on the whiteboard, they have my salary and the minutes I've played at games. So I was getting paid more.
That's funny.
So, now you're collecting a paycheck basically. But anyway, what happens? I haven't played in fucking 2 years. So then Art Shoot the Breeze calls me up. He goes, Rich, I've got like 5 teams that are interested in you. He goes, what do you think? You want to give another shot? And I said, yeah. So I get my ass in shape. It came down to the Florida and the Islanders. Oh. Mike was re-signing me because Mike owed me a favor.
Oh, that's right. You told that story, yeah.
Right? So he owed me that favor. So then, but with Florida, I end up talking with Mike Keenan. Mike Keenan was the coach then, and he called me. He goes, yeah. So I agreed because Jackie wouldn't go back to New York.
Oh. So
then I end up signing with Florida, but that meant now that I had to go back into the program.
Oh.
So I committed to I committed to 1 year and $1 million with games played, and if I didn't make the team that sent down to the minors, I was going to make $550 or $600 American, I think it was. Like, honestly, a 2-year deal with an option. And I basically was like, I got to go back into the program. I got to go back to the piss test. All the things that I was like, now I'm checking my bank account. Do I have enough money? Or do we have enough money? And the night 2 days before I was supposed to leave for camp, went out, got shit-faced. This is like September 9th or 10th, I think it was. Did some drugs. Called Mike Keenan that morning. Still hadn't slept. Did a couple bumps. And said my wrist was bad and I was pulling the pin. But that wasn't the reason. It wasn't because of my wrist. So that's one of my regrets, if I have one, is that, and this is, you can live with mistakes. You have mistakes and you want to be better. But when you have a regret, that's never going to change. That's why I tell both of my kids, actually, you're going to make mistakes. And there's some things that you just can't never look at it and go, well, that was just a mistake. That was a total regret on my part, where I felt pretty shitty about myself after the fact. And basically that's the next year on June 18th is when I tried to take my life.
Oh,
yeah. I went as hard as I could probably go and did everything to basically want to die. Yeah.
But the good thing now, you're doing so much for other people, right? I mean, that's the...
Yeah, you feel like when you're helping people, you're always kind of, my thing is I'm sort of as quiet and naive as I used to be back in the day. Yeah. I'm that's one of my strengths now, is just with others, is making them feel pretty good about themselves, even though it doesn't matter what they're wearing or where they are in a pecking order in life. Yeah. So, and when you're doing that, it's really, I'm helping myself more than anything.
Yeah, that's true. You're helping somebody else.
You are
getting a lot of...
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, we'll get going here, but we're going to do another show. We're going to do a couple of other shows. One's going to be an X-rated version of the show, telling stories. Okay.
Oh yeah, we got to do that one. I got a couple. I did biting my lip.
I know.
Biting my tongue at the start of Tommy.
I know. And then we're going to do another show on marriage advice, how not to do things by Tom and Mick, and how to do things by Rich. Okay. So I love it.
I love it.
We'll do a weekly marriage show, right?
Oh God.
Oh, we can tell stories. We can go on and on about some of the crazy. Now, that's the other thing too. I always think before it was like all the women were crazy. And then Tom actually said to me one day, "Have you ever looked in the mirror? I think maybe it's got something to do with you."
I don't even know if Mick knows this. I don't even know. Yeah, Mick might know this story. Remember? I can't see. Remember Isabel? I got a whisper. Oh, and we'll get into that another time.
Okay, all right.
You're on.
She contacted me again.
Okay.
All right, that'll be. We'll do a part 2. We'll schedule anottle one.
Yeah, we got to do another show. We
got to do it. Yeah.
Another show. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks very much.
Yeah, nice seeing you, sir.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
I'll give you a call later. Are you around right now? Are you still right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Tommy. Thanks for having us.
Laddie, you wee Bonnie.
No, you got to change that. There's too many shows that have that in there. So you got to.
I'm limited. You up? Did I tell the same story so well?
You did a horrific German impression the other day too with
the Chewbacca was the best one, wasn't that? The Chewbacca I did.
No. It sounds like you're opening a can of. It sounds like those moo toys that you would flip over.
Everybody's going now. Is Chewbacca really on? It sounded just like Chewbacca.
But I don't think they are. But they are excited that we had an Islander show now. We had the Ranger show, a Devil show, and an Islander show. These guys don't seem super pumped about the Islanders this year.
Yeah, I know. 2 old tough guys.
Oh man, they're just great.
I think we're seriously doing an X-rated version with those guys.
We'll definitely have them on. You know, I love when we have a structure, but I think I really love when we just comes off the rails and guys just start shooting.
Especially when you get 2 guys like that, they're good storytellers.
100%.
Yeah, they're both. That Mick's funny. When he was on the first time, I really didn't know him that well. When he started telling stories, I could have just sat there and listened.
No, he's great. And both those guys are.
Yeah.
It was just great to have those 2 tough Islanders on the show.
Yeah. And they're right. They were not too. They're very honest about they're really tied in with the alumni, with the Islanders. Yeah, but they're not too high on the team right now. It's amazing what they said about when the guys listened to it, but about Barzell on the team.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a great player, but maybe who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, there's interesting what they had to say. I didn't really see him that way before. They're really high on his talent level, but some other stuff was concerned.
But they did mention, we talked about John Ledecky, he's the managing owner of the Islanders. The guy's great. He's involved in so many events, and he's great with the fans. He's at the games.
Yeah, he's right in there. Like, he's not sitting up in the box and everything.
Yeah. The Rangers have a great owner who has a lot of money, but he doesn't really get involved with the fans as much. He does wonderful things. Also, for instance, I have my team playing at the Garden, between periods, and even an hour and a half before the game, and it's free. And Rangers are the only team I think that does that.
Yeah,
that's kids play for free.
The other teams charge, No, Mr. Dolan's fan. They got the Garden of Dreams there.
Which is great. He gets a lot of heat, I guess, because of his public persona, but he does a lot of really good things for the community behind the scenes that people don't even see.
I think he gets a lot of heat because he's really involved with the Knicks more than the Rangers, and the Knicks haven't been successful, so they assume, it's his fault.
Right.
Which is just the Rangers and the team itself, the way he treats the players now, the way he treats the alumni now.
Yep.
I had a meeting with him years ago, some business deal, and he took my call, got a meeting right away. Let's say he was there at the meeting, and Mr. Dolan sat there. We've chatted, we talked about business for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, sat there for 2 hours.
Well, here's the thing with Sather too, and we've said this before, but Sather comes off as this gruff person, and he's kind of like ornery with the fans, but you guys, everyone loves him. They say he's so great behind the scenes.
Oh, he does so many things for people, like guys who are in trouble, like alcohol and stuff, paying for things, help. Not just paying, but Barry Beck came in town and had his problems that he's publicly publicized.
He told us about that.
Oh, yeah. Glenn it wasn't just like saying, I'll write you a check or something like that. He was like going to Seabury, talking to him, helping him out. Yeah.
No, it's great.
But he does, but it's funny because when you do sit with him, he puts that act on. I first got in the agent business. I don't know if you know I was in the agent business.
23.
So I was negotiating contracts with him, and he was mean. Like, I got sick one night and I was choking and stuff on the phone. He says, "You're not feeling well?" Like, it's not good.
He's the advantage, taking advantage.
Oh God, yeah. He's but then you get to know him. He's just a great guy.
No, but and like I said, back to that story. So the kids program is playing at the Garden, and I spoke to other teams, including local teams, and they were like, you have to buy X amount of tickets, X amount of dollars.
Right.
And the Rangers like, no, Mr. Dolan wants the kids to have that experience, and he doesn't want you to have to pay for it. So that's incredible.
And you know what? It's great for the kids, but it's also great for the team too, because the reputation that the Rangers have is like this first-class organization.
100%.
Players want to play here. training facility, the way they're treated travel-wise and everything. So it's and they've always been like that, and things have changed. But when I played with the Rangers, it was always first class.
And then think about just the community outreach. You're involved in that very much so with the programs and the clinics. I believe the Rangers are in 300 rinks in the New York area. The Devils are in 15.
Oh, is that what it is?
So it just shows you how much investment the Rangers are making in that and growing these eventual Ranger fans.
And the programs are fantastic too, like to learn to skate, learn to play, all that kind of stuff. The difference they're making with kids. We did a Christmas show. It was during the pandemic because Chris Kreider was a part of it, but he couldn't get out public. So we went to these houses and gave kids gifts.
Nice.
And it was all families that have lost another child.
Oh, man.
So I had worked at a clinic years ago, and I went into this home. This was just by happenstance. It wasn't planned. And the one home I went into, the girl that was at the clinic, I guess I had treated her nice. We hit it off or whatever. So I became her favorite player. And she was the one that passed away.
Oh,
and they still had all the stuff up in her bedroom. It was just a.
That's got to hit you right hard.
Yeah, but I mean, also was like, and they were very happy too that she had that experience. And it wasn't just me; it was the way the Rangers treated her as well. So I guess you just don't always realize all the differences you're going to make in people's lives when you're doing it. So
and that's just a wonderful thing that the Rangers do, and that Jim Dolan does. And now kicking back to the Islanders, John Ledecky's in that same vein, where he's out there in the community doing these things with the Islanders. He donated a huge amount of money to Hockey in Harlem.
Yeah.
He gave money to 43 Oak, which does similar things, bringing up players from underprivileged areas. And it's just, it's great that he's in that community and he's doing those things. And the players love him, and the ex-players love him too.
Yeah, we talked about John Tonelli, a good friend of mine I played with in Los Angeles, a longtime Islander, won the 4 Cups there. And he'd really been alienated from the team, and he was not happy about it. Then Mr. Ledecky.
You can hear all about it in the episode he did with us.
That's right. I forgot with the
show. He talked about exactly that.
Man, we've done enough shows now. I can't forget some of the guys we've got on.
Over 70 shows, more to come.
Wow.
Out of all of the 3 shows we've done of the local teams, it looks like the Devils are the most excited. Rangers are kind of lukewarm, and the Islanders are a little bit cold. So
with the Rangers, just kind of wait and see, right? They could be a really good hockey team, but who knows what happens to them. So,
but I think the guarantee is the Devils will be a good hockey team.
Yeah, it's amazing how everybody is so high on the Devils.
Which is good. They passed the eye test,
Right. And Lindy Ruff, didn't he just got a new contract?
He got extended, So
because the story was before with him going into last year that they didn't think the team would do that well early, and they were going to fire him.
They were calls early in the season to fire Lindy Ruff, and now he just got extended.
Yeah.
So.
In fact, he was telling people that they brought in an assistant coach, and I can't remember what his name was. He down in Florida. And everybody thought he was this up-and-coming new head coach. So Lindy Ruff even said to management, apparently, that, okay, let's just get this straight. You want me to help groom this new guy that's going to take my job, right? Into it. But to his credit and to the players' credit, he's got the heck of a hockey.
A lot of credit also to Tom Fitzgerald, who's done a good job as a GM there.
Yeah, very true, right? And quietly, too. It doesn't seem like you hear his name mentioned very much. So.
And those are 2 guys you played against, both, right?
Yep, definitely. And I love seeing guys like that. It's more and more now guys are getting, not just coaching, but are getting into management.
Sure.
Really doing a good job. A guy like a Luke Robitaille out in Los Angeles.
George McPhee, 2 your ex-teammates.
Yeah.
President.
And you know what? A lot of times in the past, when a player took over that role as president, he would golf with the corporate sponsors and stuff. That's really
now they're running teams.
Yeah, and these guys are in on the numbers. They're intelligent guys. They're not figureheads.
Well, look, Chris Jury, another one.
Yeah, totally. Right. Yeah. George McPhee's really done well in life after. Right, they went to law school. Yeah, he was an agent for a little bit. I think he did a fantastic job in Washington there to build that team that ultimately
absolutely
the cup, and now what he's done. And again, I was as much as my friend and former teammate, I was a little critical of the organization there in Vegas about what they did with their goaltending. But yeah, I think more than they've got such a good team in front of them. They just get me decent goaltending. That's all I really.
Yeah, and the other president, Joe Sakic's president of Atlas, right?
That's right.
Cam Healy's president of the Bruins.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of ex-players in roles. So maybe you should, throw your hat in the ring.
The president, I'll get to be president of the men's the roller hockey league. Have we president of the roller?
No, the job's taken.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, my league? No, it's taken.
You're the president,
executive director.
Executive director.
You got to have that job.
Yeah.
You could be a consultant.
What what we haven't touched on? Your rink there is getting redone by the Rangers.
I did, and I want to talk. It gets closer, but we'll talk about the Ranger Community Outreach again. We got a grant, and they're going to redo the rink in partnership with Benjamin Moore, and they're going to just knock down this rink in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, rebuild the rink. Wow. It's going to help out our league, but also the other leagues that use it, the youth program, Hockey in Harlem. It's just a great thing. And again, it's the Rangers being involved in the community and just doing wonderful work. Mike Fasulo with the Rangers leading that charge, and his name comes up several times.
Mike's that quiet assassin, right? Like he's a quiet guy, but he gets stuff done.
No, he gets a lot done, and this is going to be an excellent project. We'll probably do a show from the rink when they do the ribbon cutting.
And where's the rink again?
96th Street and First Avenue on Upper East Side of Manhattan.
Wow, very cool. I didn't know.
New York City Roller Hockey League. Shout out to all the guys.
I go on 96th Street too. I'm going over to the FDR or something.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, wow, very cool. Didn't know it.
I'll get you down there for the ribbon cutting.
I think it was my second or third year in the league. I was going to rent an apartment on 96th Street.
Okay, great neighborhood.
The only thing I couldn't afford the rent for parking the car. We over the budget
When you were on the Rangers.
Yeah, on the Rangers, making $60,000 a year. So yeah. And it's funny because not many guys lived in the city at that time. It was like Greshner, Beck, Duguay. I said, I'm going to live in the city. It's a good thing I didn't. I wasn't a city guy anyway. I love the city, but
when parking is as much as your rent, it's like what's the point of it?
And I got this Jeep that I beat the crap out of too. I could have spent like $250 a month to park it.
So hello, Rye or Portchester, wherever you live. Anyway, thank you, Islanders, for coming on.
Yep.
Let's go Islanders. Let's go Devils. Let's go Rangers. Let's have a great year this year. And listen, like, subscribe, and share it around. Enjoy the show.
Yes.
There he goes.
Bonnie lads. Yes, you are.
Good Lord.
All right, Grasshoppers. Thank you for listening. We had a fantastic show. We'll see you next time.
Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, unlocking the power of Thinkorswim, the award-winning trading platforms loaded with features that let you dive deeper into the market. Visualize your trades in a new light on Thinkorswim desktop with robust charting and analysis tools, all while you uncover new opportunities with up-to-the-minute market news and insights. Thinkorswim is available on desktop, web, and mobile to meet you where you are. It's built by the trading obsessed to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.